The Sigma female doesn't go out looking for conflict. She doesn't compete, chase attention, or try to prove anything. But there's one type of personality she always ends up defeating, often without saying a single word. It's the controlling, manipulative, and power-hungry type. The kind of person who thrives on dominance, ego, and control over others. This personality can come in many forms. The boss who tries to intimidate, the friend who plays emotional games, the partner who uses manipulation to feel powerful. They operate by controlling those around them, by feeding on weakness, compliance, or insecurity. But the Sigma female doesn't offer any of that. Her calm confidence is the one thing they can't understand, and it's exactly what disarms them. Where others might bend under pressure, she stays grounded. Where others might argue or fight back, she simply walks away. Her quiet refusal to play their game destroys the foundation they stand on. Because this type of person needs reaction. They need control, attention, and emotional access. Without that, they lose power completely. The Sigma female doesn't win through aggression or confrontation. She wins through stillness. Her independence, intelligence, and emotional detachment are weapons that don't even look like weapons. They confuse and frustrate the manipulative type because she's not predictable and she's not controllable. In this video, we'll look at 6 ways the Sigma female destroys this kind of personality. Not with violence or revenge, but through calm power, emotional intelligence, and silent strength. By the end, you'll see why people who rely on control can't survive long around a woman who refuses to be controlled. Way number 1. She doesn't feed their need for control. Manipulative or controlling personalities thrive on reaction. They want to trigger emotions, pull strings, and control the outcome of every situation. They test people's boundaries by pushing them emotionally, through guilt, fear, or charm. Most people eventually give in, either to keep peace or avoid conflict. But the Sigma female doesn't. She recognizes control the moment it shows up. She's not easily influenced by guilt or persuasion because she's self-sufficient. Her decisions come from logic and intuition, tension, not pressure. When someone tries to dominate her, she doesn't argue, she simply detaches. And that's what destroys the manipulator's power. They expect resistance, not silence. They expect argument, not calm. When she gives them nothing, no anger, no reaction, they're left with nowhere to go. Their tactics stop working. Every time they try to create tension, she diffuses it by refusing to engage. That's what makes her unbreakable in their eyes. Her independence is their greatest obstacle. Controlling people need dependence. They need others to rely on them emotionally, financially, or socially. The Sigma female doesn't need any of that. She creates her own stability, her own validation, her own path. She can walk away at any moment, and that simple fact takes all the power out of their hands. This type of person often tries to use authority or manipulation to regain control. They might play the victim, act superior, or spread negativity. But the Sigma female remains unaffected. Her peace and self-respect protect her. She's mastered the art of detachment, not coldness, but self-protection. She doesn't fight for dominance because she doesn't need to. When they push for control, she steps back. When they demand reaction, she gives silence. In doing so, she teaches them that control only works on people who allow it. And that's why she always comes out stronger. Way number 2. She outsmarts their manipulation with authenticity. The Sigma female's greatest weapon against manipulation is her authenticity. She lives with honesty, even when it's uncomfortable. Manipulators depend on confusion. They twist facts, play roles, and wear masks to keep others off balance. But the Sigma female's straightforward nature cuts through all of that. She doesn't play games, and she doesn't pretend. This disarms them completely. When she speaks, she means what she says. She doesn't use emotional traps, and she doesn't respond to them either. Her clear, grounded communication leaves no room for misdirection. A manipulator can't twist her words because she doesn't leave space for interpretation. She says what she means and she stands by it. Her emotional honesty exposes their deception. When someone tries to use guilt, flattery, or pity to control her, she sees it instantly. Not because she's suspicious, but because she understands human behavior deeply. She's observant, and she trusts her intuition more than others' words. When the manipulative type tries to create drama, she doesn't match their energy. She stays calm, and that calmness reveals who's really in control. People around them can sense it too. While the manipulator starts to unravel under pressure, the Sigma female stays composed, which makes the truth clear without her even needing to explain it. Her authenticity is like a mirror. It reflects back the truth of others. This makes manipulators uncomfortable because they rely on illusion. Around her, they can't fake it for long. Her presence forces honesty out of people, and that's why manipulators eventually avoid her. They can't lie without being exposed. Even when she catches their manipulation, she doesn't waste energy confronting them. She simply adjusts her distance. She doesn't need revenge or proof, she just stops playing along. That quiet withdrawal is devastating to someone who depends on control, because it robs them of their favorite thing, attention. In the end, her authenticity destroys manipulation because it removes the one thing deception can't survive: truth. Way number 3. She walks away from their drama. While they chase it, the Sigma female understands something most people don't. Not every battle deserves her energy. Manipulative or controlling personalities feed on chaos. They create confusion, gossip, and emotional storms because it keeps them in control. The more drama they stir, the more attention they receive. But when they meet a Sigma female, their game falls apart because she simply refuses to play. She doesn't match their noise. She doesn't react when they try to provoke her. Instead, she walks away. That silence destroys them more than any argument ever could. The manipulative personality thrives on pulling people into emotional traps, but she offers nothing they can feed on. When she leaves them without reaction, their power disappears. To her, peace is more valuable than winning. She understands that arguing with someone who lives off drama is a waste of life. She knows that explaining herself to someone committed to misunderstanding her leads nowhere. So she detaches. She moves forward quietly, and that quietness drives the manipulative type mad. This personality type hates to be ignored. They crave emotional response: anger, guilt, attention, anything that keeps them relevant. But the Sigma female doesn't need closure or validation. Her silence says everything. It tells them that they no longer have a hold over her. Walking away doesn't mean she's weak, it means she's wise. It takes strength to leave when others expect reaction. She knows her value, and she knows peace can't exist in a place where chaos is celebrated. Eventually, the manipulator realizes they can't control someone who doesn't need them. They may try to provoke her again, but each time she walks away faster. Over time, they lose the emotional control they once had. That's when they start to crumble, not because she destroyed them directly, but because she stopped giving them what they needed most: her attention. Way number 4, she sets boundaries they never saw coming. Controlling personalities are used to testing people's limits. They push slowly, pretending it's harmless, asking for small favors, crossing emotional lines, or ignoring others' comfort. Most people hesitate to push back, afraid of conflict. But the Sigma female doesn't hesitate. Her boundaries are firm, clear, and often unexpected. She doesn't need to announce them loudly. She enforces them quietly through action. The moment she senses manipulation or disrespect, she changes her availability. She stops explaining and starts protecting her peace. Her calm but consistent reaction shocks the manipulative type because they're used to people who bend, not those who stand firm. The Sigma female's boundaries aren't built on anger, they're built on self-respect. She's not trying to punish anyone, she's simply protecting herself from chaos. When she says no, she means it. When she steps away, it's final. There's no debate, no guilt, no emotional weakness to exploit. Manipulators rely on confusion. They expect to wear people down with persistence or guilt. But her boundaries don't bend. She doesn't need to justify them because she knows her limits better than anyone else. This certainty leaves the manipulative type powerless. Her quiet firmness becomes a mirror that reflects how weak their control really is. They realize that their influence only works on those who fear saying no. The Sigma female doesn't have that fear. Her strength is internal and no amount of pressure changes it. In the end, they're left frustrated and powerless. Every attempt to test her limits only exposes their own insecurity. Her boundaries break their illusion of control because they prove a truth manipulators can't handle. Control only exists where it's allowed. Way number 5. She thrives quietly while they crave spotlight. The controlling or narcissistic personality type depends on attention. They build their sense of power on being seen, praised, and talked about. Their image is everything. They need an audience to feel alive. But the Sigma female doesn't play that game. She doesn't compete for attention, and she doesn't need validation. She thrives in silence, working steadily while others talk. This contrast exposes the weakness of those who crave recognition. While they perform for approval, she focuses on results. While they talk about what they'll do, she's already doing it. Her quiet success makes them insecure because it shines without trying. They don't understand how someone can be powerful without being loud. They rely on being seen. She relies on being effective. Her energy is private, disciplined, and consistent. She doesn't announce her goals or victories, she just lives them. This attitude confuses and frustrates attention-seeking personalities. They can't compete with someone who doesn't compete back. They'll often try to provoke her, challenge her, or draw her into comparison. But she's too grounded to respond. Her focus stays inward, and her progress continues without their validation. Her quiet strength becomes a mirror that exposes how fragile their self-worth really is. They need constant recognition to feel relevant. She's fulfilled without it. Her silence makes their noise look desperate. And when she succeeds, and she always does, it's undeniable. There's no need for her to prove anything, because her results speak for themselves. Meanwhile, those who depend on image find themselves fading, because performance without substance can't survive next to authenticity. The Sigma female's quiet thriving is her revenge without trying. She doesn't need to destroy anyone. Her calm progress does it naturally. Way number 6. She lets her results speak while they keep talking. The Sigma female doesn't need to prove her worth through arguments, explanations, or image. Her actions do that for her. She knows that the loudest person in the room is rarely the strongest one. So, while the manipulative or controlling personality talks, performs, and boasts, she's quietly creating results that can't be denied. This type of person depends on words. They talk about what they're going to do, exaggerate their achievements, and manipulate perceptions to look more powerful than they really are. But the Sigma female is built differently. She doesn't waste time trying to convince anyone of her value. She simply shows it through what she does. Her consistency is what destroys the manipulative type. They survive on illusion. She operates on proof. While they try to control narratives and seek validation, she focuses on mastery. Her quiet effort exposes their emptiness because it shows the difference between talk and truth. When her work speaks for itself, there's nothing left for them to argue about. They lose control because they can't twist facts that are already visible. Her results stand on their own, and her integrity gives them weight. This balance between silence and strength is what makes her unstoppable. She's not interested in showing off or seeking praise. She understands that real power doesn't announce itself, it just is. When others are talking, she's building. When they're performing, she's producing. And when they finally notice what she's done, it's too late to compete. The manipulative personality hates this kind of quiet dominance. It reminds them that while they were busy trying to appear powerful, someone else became powerful for real. Her success comes from self-discipline and truth, not from games or influence. That's how she wins every time, without raising her voice, without confrontation, and without stepping out of alignment. She lets her results speak louder than their words ever could. The Sigma female doesn't destroy others through aggression or control. She destroys them by being untouchable. Her strength doesn't come from dominance, it comes from independence. Her calm nature, firm boundaries, and quiet success expose the weakness in those who depend on manipulation or attention to feel significant. She doesn't react when they provoke her. She doesn't argue when they lie. She doesn't chase when they pull away. She simply remains herself, steady, calm, and focused. That's what breaks them, because it takes away every tool they use for control. While the manipulative personality plays games, the Sigma female plays none. Her power lies in her peace. Her silence is sharper than their words, and her truth outlasts their performance. She doesn't need to fight to win. The battle ends the moment she refuses to participate. Every controlling person who crosses her path eventually realizes the same truth. They can't manipulate someone who's free. They can't dominate someone who doesn't need their approval. They can't win against someone who doesn't play their game. That's why the Sigma female always destroys this personality type, because she doesn't just resist control. She makes it irrelevant.